Hey everybody, happy original Brexit Day. This is a great 4th of July for me. Met up with some friends, watched some fireworks, just got in from that. A little bit shorter than what I was expecting, but the finale was better than I could have asked for. But the reason why I'm making the video is once again talking about Fundrise. And it's not necessarily talking about the $1,000 that I invested back in 2017. It's more along this new feature that Fundrise had put in about, I want to say I noticed it about 4 or 5 months ago, is basically talking about what you want your account value to be and what you're going to need to invest to get that. And just starting off, what I was originally talking about and thinking about was, well, I don't really want Fundrise to be a main pillar of my portfolio, but it is something that I could throw $100 or so here, $200 or so there. And I know I teased this a couple weeks ago when I made another Fundrise video, and I looked, and for me to get about $100,000 in 20 years or so, all I really have to invest is $137 a month, which, to be honest, that's like me going out to eat or going out to the bar, once or twice a month. I generally wouldn't even notice that because I save so much of my money. Every time I look at my checking account, I'm moving it into my brokerage account. So it's either I'm moving $500, every couple weeks once I notice that I have too much, sitting in my checking account. So this $137, I'm not even going to feel it. Basically, the only place I'm going to be noticing it is maybe I'll be adding a little bit less to my individual brokerage account on, say, the middle or the last of every month. But I'm really excited to see where this ends up. So as you notice, the last time I checked in, I only had about $1,150 in here. Now it's almost close to $1,300. And really what I want to look at is where this money is going. And I don't have internet. Hold on a sec here. And so where these funds are actually going, you can see some of my dividend reinvestment from back in April. But looking specifically at what this is investing in is Income E-REIT number 3 and Growth E-REIT 2019. And if we actually look at what those are, we can go to portfolio and maybe scroll down, learn a little bit. Income E-REIT E3. It is aiming towards 7 different projects, which is apartment renovation mostly. Actually, it's all apartment renovation. 1 apartment development. But this is actually pretty interesting because a lot of these are D-rated. So if you're looking specifically in this lower right-hand corner, it's aiming anywhere between 10 and 12%, mostly focused around Georgia area, which is interesting. And what was the other one that it wanted me to invest in? I believe it was Growth something. Let's check it. Growth E-REIT 2019. So that's interesting. I didn't know it was going to force me into specifically Savannah, Georgia. I know that it's been hot and heavy, and a lot of folks that I know have been investing in Georgia. Single-family residences, of course. But this Growth E-REIT 2019 does not look like it is currently up and running yet, so maybe they're just getting it building. But it's interesting to see that they're trying to get some folks into Savannah, Georgia, because most of the time I feel like most of my funds are in the LA area looking at specifically remodeling single-family homes or single-family residents in the LA area. So it's very cool to see, what we're actually investing in outside of there. But this actually is pretty cool. You can really change it to whatever you want it to be, and all it's really going to tell you is, if you want to save it 100,000, let's say, in 5 years, it's really just going to talk about how much you're actually going to need to invest, which for this is going to be about $1,200 a month. So almost 10 times what I'm investing now. So if you remember, I'm currently looking at about $137 a month, which is pretty interesting. But let's look at Now I'm just going to play with this a little bit. But let's look at it, say in 20 years, I want this bad boy to have 1 million doll hairs. And, oh, max is 380,000, really. I don't know why that is, but let's put 380,000 and see what I would need to invest. So investing $551 a month gets you to $380,000 in 20 years, which is pretty interesting. I wonder why that is. I wonder if we can ask somebody, or if somebody from Fundrise watches this video, if they can get back to me and tell me why. Ooh, interesting. If you do 5 years, the max is 120,000, which would be $15.45 a month. That's pretty interesting stuff. Anyway, yeah, it's relatively cool, and since you already have your bank account and everything probably hooked into here from the first time that you did your investment, if you're a Fundrise customer, it's relatively simple because it's already got everything in there, and basically it walks you right through. You put in what your goal is, and for me, because I'm already investing $137 a month, it's going to be like, hey, by the way, this is going to be a little bit different. You're going to end up investing, another $1,350 or $1,400 almost extra because of your new goal. I'm not going to change my goal. In fact, let's go back and change it right now while you guys are on the horn, so that way I don't screw myself over here. But I thought it was relatively cool, and I figured I'm going to be investing the money somewhere, so might as well. Ooh, am I off? Alright. Anyway, I just had to edit something out because when I clicked to the next part, brought up a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want to edit out and black out. But it's relatively cool if you actually wanted to follow through and invest. Like this is trying to get me to invest again because it's 138 rather than 137. I don't know why. They adjusted some of their background information. I don't really know. But if you just hit this continue, then it basically it'll bring you up and say, is this your bank account? Is this where you want it to be? Yada, yada, yada. And you would direct it so that way you could get your automatic investment. I did it probably 5-6 days ago, and I think I have them taking out the money on the 1st of every month, which is why you'll see that if I actually type in the historicals, I was kind of just cruising along once I had my initial $100,000, and then boom, recently the extra little bit of cash came in on the 1st or 2nd of the month. And looking forward to see how this builds over time. I really want to see if it actually stays on track, and yeah, really, really curious. I'm not going to be too upset if it kind of just flutters out and it only ends up with $50,000 and it's starting to track, off a little bit. But you think about it, 20 years at 12 months per year, you're basically looking at probably $36,000 totally invested. So if you're thinking about it, it's like $130 every month, and there's 240 months that I'll be investing for. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not expecting the moon here, but who knows? Maybe I'll end up being lucky, and some of the things that I end up investing in will be worthwhile, and I'm sure some of them won't necessarily work out. But overall, if I can continue to get about a 7% return, I'm not going to be too upset. But yeah. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought I would mention in a video that I'd be contemplating whether or not I wanted to do that, and I pulled the trigger because it was only $137 a month. And it's another place where I can store some money and get some free cash flow. So I will talk to you guys on another video, and if you have any other suggestions or questions about Fundrise, leave them down in the comment section down below. And obviously, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I generally talk about dividend investing. Aside from this $1,200, $1,300 that I have on my Fundrise account here, I have another $300-some thousand portfolio invested strictly in the stock market, and I generally give updates on that about several times a month. Most specifically, towards the beginning of the month, I talk about the dividends that I made in the prior month. So for instance, the other day, about 2 or 3 days ago, I released a video discussing what income I made in June, which was almost $1,000 in dividend income. Actually, it was $1,000. I calculated it again, and it was over $1,000 for the first time in June of 2019. So yeah, I generally talk about that and a bunch of other things that might come up once I'm walking through my normal investment portfolio. This is a huge hobby of mine, so I look at it all the time. So I generally try to share my ideas and thoughts with you guys on a regular basis. So I'll catch you guys on another video. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your 4th of July.